What's going? Welcome to episode 13 of Scratch Social Golf Podcast. Imran McManus, how are things?
Things are great, Paddy. How are you?
Flying it, sure. How the week?
My week was good, thanks. I have to just make an exception for any female listeners or watchers out there. I just got my brows done and they're a bit thick and a bit dark for my face right now, but we'll be fine in a few days.
So go straight over to YouTube. If you're listening to this, go straight to the Scratch Social Golf Podcast YouTube. Or if you're watching a video on Spotify, leave a comment down below as to whether Emer's ready for the winter or if you even notice. Get that
Great,
reference.
my brows. No, everything's all good. Had a really nice bank holiday, attended a wedding up in Kildare and then played golf on bank holiday Monday, but it was absolutely freezing. But we still managed to play 14 holes, which was great. And as usual, I was scrolling on TikTok and on Instagram, and I came across a funny video, and it's something that most of us golfers do. Now, as a 1 or scratch handicap that you're going to be probably this year, it was a video of a guy waiting for 10 minutes for a green to clear from 220 yards out. And he had a wood in his hand, and his friend started recording, and his friend was saying to him, "Are you sure now you're going to wait? Are you sure?" He said, yeah. Handy 3-wood. Handy 3-wood now up to the green. Waited for the green to clear. Your man whips out his 3-wood and tops it 20 yards. Paddy, it is one of the funniest videos I have seen. We need to clip this into it. And I want to know, how many times have you been in that situation on the course and made that mistake? Because I have done it 100 times.
Definitely like more than a dozen times. Like I'm playing the game nearly 30 years. So absolutely. I suppose in the last 2 or 4 years when I've been kind of like off 6 or 7 or better. Yeah, a couple of times, 100%. 100%. Definitely it's happened to me a couple of times around at the Heritage. If Whitton is at the 8th hole back up the hill and there's like a ravine that splits the fairways a little bit. Don't know if that's the 8th, but yeah. I can remember it vividly enough to name the golf course and ballpark the golf ball. It's not ideal. If I tend not to do it if I'm playing casually. I'll just keep going. We're going to be behind them. We're going to be behind them. But if I have a scorecard in my pocket and it's 220, I'm waiting.
Nice. Yeah, look, I do it even when I weigh casually and I'll still top it. But it's so funny. I don't know what it is about the confidence we all get. You know, you're 200 yards out and you're like, yeah, I'll hit it on the green. I'll wait for it to clear. I would say more often than not, statistically, people will miss the green after waiting than get it onto the green. It's probably like a 90% miss and a 10% make.
Well, if you think about it, that I love looking at the stats on tour to kind of set a level of realism for myself. So a couple of good stats I love seeing pop up on screen on the telecast, as the Americans say, is like the probability chance that they'll hold this putt. So 3 foot is like 99.99%. Once it goes to 5 foot, it drops to under 80%. And here are we, the amateur of this world, off 2 or off 22, and we're all cursing ourselves because we've missed a 5-foot putt, when in fact, the pros miss 1 in 5 of those anyway. And once it goes to 8 feet, it's like 55%. And again, most of us are saying 8 foot, should have hold them all day. But actually, like, it's kind of like a 50-50 game, really. And the other one is, there's a Tiger Woods stat from 120 yards out, like even at his pomp at like 2000, 2001, like 120 yards out, he missed the green like 4 out of 10 times. Not didn't get it close, missed the green. Subject to fact check. That Tiger Woods stat. But yeah, nice. A bit of dose realism for everyone never hurts.
Yeah, love it. I absolutely love it. And how were your last couple of days? Good bank holiday? Did you get your practice in?
Good bank holiday, yeah. Finished off the fiscal year at work, so it was nice to roll into bank holiday, but we were potty training a 2.5-year-old, so we were kind of housebound, so a bit of cabin fever set in. I did get to the range on the excuse that the 5-year-old wanted to go. She did want to go. We were in the car in double quick time on Monday, so she hit a few and I got some done, but yeah, I got some good work, as I say, some good graft, which is a word I learned in Tralee in football training. We love a bit of graft there after work today, actually, so it was nice to get that done.
Nice. And we had a bit of an eventful week in the world of golf over the last couple of days. Can you care to enlighten us?
Yeah, I've shortened it this week because we want this to be snappy and stuff that people can relay on first tees maybe over the weekend. And if, you know, for the full news, you know, that's what Golf Channel's for, and Sky Sports Golf. So there's a bit of controversy. So first off, LPGA Tour, a big whoopsie. Big whoopsie now on Sunday. That's what my mom would say. So the LPGA Tour was the Tournament of Champions. And instead of it being a celebration, it turned into quite the mess. So yes, Nelly Korda won, my favourite golfer, globally. She was sneaking a peek at my story last week on the WTGL comments I made. But Nelly absolutely earned it, the win, but absolutely no one is really talking about that. They're talking about how the tournament got shortened because of weather. They're talking about the LPGA Tour miscommunicating or indeed not communicating timely enough with players, with broadcasts. They missed their broadcast time. It was quite unclear. Some players were still preparing to play when others found out it was actually a final decision already made. That confusion spilled out onto the broadcast, onto social media. It was just a royal F up, you know. But the worst part is Nelly's win is completely hijacked. It went from 72 to 54 holes. It's happened a couple times in the men's game. But yeah, it should have been like a clean celebratory win for one of the biggest golfing stars. But not many people know Nelly won at all. They're just thinking about, oh, the LPGA Tour was cancelled, you know, which is great. So on the Spice rating this week, that's a big 5 out of 5 for me. You know, big player friction, poor communication, and a narrative the LPGA Tour has to manage. But did you see they do have a new chief marketing officer?
Yes.
Chad. So I clocked this guy when he was like head of brand in Callaway. And then he went to Smash Wallop. What are the name? Noggin. Smash Pound Noggin. The YouTubers.
Not the boys, something bros.
No, Smash Pound Noggin. Smash Pound Noggin.
No, it's
No, he did.
Dude, not
Dude
perfect.
Perfect.
Is it Dude
Dude
Perfect?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Dude
Yeah.
Perfect. So I remember their slogan, but not their actual name. So he was a Dude Perfect the last 6 years or something. And sure, they're massive. Hundreds of millions of views per video. So if there's ever a man to manage the narrative and to come out of this on the good end, it's Chad.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? When they announced him on the LPGA Tour, I actually had a look at him and I did look at his creds, and it's so cool. He's like a proper producer, marketer, creator coming into that world, and like that's where it's going. Yeah, super exciting. I think he'll set the LPGA onto a new stratosphere, to be honest.
Absolutely. Chad Coleman. People are looking. Good follow on Instagram and Twitter as well, or X. It was lovely to see Justin win. Justin Rose, as if he was a friend of ours. So dominated wire to wire, 23 under, setting records for the tournament. Wins a surfboard as the trophy, I think. But what I saw, I'd seen it before in Justin Rose's gym. He's got a big poster in his gym, and it's something I want to put in my house or somewhere in this office maybe. And it says, "Go ahead, underestimate me." And I thought that was brilliant. If there was ever like a self-motivator, that's a great line to have. Go ahead, underestimate me. So yeah, no drama from Justin this week. Really cool, calm, collected, very Justin Rose win. But it's everything he does outside the ropes, I think, that made him walk to victory, and just real respect for Mr. Rose winning the Farmers.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it's a year for him to win a major. He is so on fire, and I know he got pipped at the post last year, but if he can keep the form up, he has a great chance, unless somebody comes in and has the round of the week of their lives, which is very doable when you've got Brooks back on tour, Scotty, Rory, the usuals. But I'd love to see him win a major this year because he so deserves it.
No, he's got one. He won the US Open, quick Google, he won the US Open at Marion back in 2013. So that's, be 13 years. So he can do a Rory and be over a decade between majors. No better man, absolutely.
Yeah.
Brings us to DP World Tour and a fella called Freddy Schott. Now, I have to ask my 15-year-old for the proper German pronunciation. I'd always say Scott, but there's no way that's the German pronunciation. But he broke through in Bahrain. He's 23. And I was watching bits and pieces of it. I missed the playoff, decided to go play golf with a 5-year-old. That was way more important. But I was looking at those people playing. So Patrick Reed contended again. Now, he was live last week. He's not this week. So, okay. Invites or whatever. But Sergio Garcia was also there. There was a couple contending into the back end. There's a couple other live guys there. We'll get to that in a second. I googled who Freddy Schott was. So he's 23. He's came through Challenge Tour. He's known as a steady grinder golfer from Germany. No hype, just solid, proper German. And this is like a career changing win for him. So he gets a couple of years status. But it's who he beat. In the back line, who he had to contend with, some big names there. But speaking of those big names, I think the lines are they're very blurred at the moment, aren't they? Especially between Live and DP World Tour. As to what's what, how are they playing this week?
It's an interesting one. Brooks came back, the deadline was set, and then Patrick Reed announces that he's leaving Live and coming back to the PGA Tour. And like right now, you've got Live players still getting paid, still popping up really when it suits them. Because like Sergio Garcia, again, he's on Live, but he's played in the DP World Tour. So has he paid a fine to get in? Are the fines big enough to not turn them away from the event? I don't know. enforcement of these rules, like anti-live, is definitely selective, it looks like. Fines are flexible. I think maybe some tournaments are just saying, look who you are. If you bring star power, you're still going to come and play in our tournament because we'll
Maybe.
sell tickets. So yeah, it's an interesting one. And you know, it seems like it was so easy for Patrick Reed to just get off live and Sergio to go across to the DP World Tour. What does that say about the current state of live as well?
It's gas because, like, between live and PGA Tour, very firm, like one or the other, unless you're a major winner. So, like John Ram playing the USPGA, if you win a major you get 5 years worth of playing the majors or something. The Masters is not run by the PGA Tour; it's run by the Masters. So past winners play. So that explains Koepka, John Ram. PGA is run by the PGA. So I think it's World Rankings got some live boys in there. Same sort of US Open, and the Open is run by the RNA. Like, 3 of those events are not run by the respective tours. One's run by the PGA of America, one's run by the RNA, and one's run by the Masters. I was just watching the covers and I was like, how's Sergio playing? Patrick Reed, okay, he's back in, but like, how's he playing? Like, he hasn't gone through Q School to play this week. And there's a couple of other lads there as well on Live Tour. And it's just really confusing for me. So there's been no real firm lines between DP World Tour and Live. Aside from, I think they're actually sister companies now. It's all a big feck up, to be honest. One big mixing pot. And there's no real clear guidance. They got to do something, because there's lads, and I'm thinking of obviously Irish pros, fledgling pros. And Mark Power has some of DP World status, but there's a live guy because he won some stuff years ago, but he's on live. Other people who are close to having the status to get into that event are not getting in.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Look,
I don't know. It's way above my pay grade to figure out, but it's just frustrating to see.
there's no. I know there's no Ladies European Tour news this week, but I'm actually flying to London in the morning to go to the 2026 season launch.
Nice.
So all the tournament organisers get together, the broadcasters, the tour itself, and we're officially launching the season, which starts in Saudi next week, which is great.
Very nice. Very nice. Where is it on? In London town?
In the Buckinghamshire. I think their office, their HQ is there. So I'm going to the Bucks, which is about 25 minutes south of Heathrow.
I think the Buckinghamshire, I see that, I think, on Charlie Hull. She plays there a lot, I think.
Yeah, and you would have seen it. The Rose Ladies series, Justin Rose's.
That's it.
Yes. They've hosted events there. It's an amazing. I was actually there last summer. It's amazing.
Class.
Yeah.
We had some good questions from the Scratch social community. Hold on a second. How good is it to say that after those 13 episodes that we're getting questions? We've had more questions to this podcast in 13 episodes than I've had on the other thing I do, and that's 200 episodes. So it's fantastic. I gotta say big thank you to everyone who's pressing play and getting involved.
Isn't it class? And like, what people don't realize is if we even get one question in, we're screenshotting it and sending it to each other like, oh my God, someone has contacted us. So yeah, thanks a million to everyone for all your questions. We actually couldn't cover everything in this week's episode, but we will continue them next week and the following week. But keep them coming, ladies and gents.
100%. So, Scratch Cup sent in, what are your favourite golf books?
So, I've actually only listened to one golf book, I have to be very honest. And it is
I've listened to a golf book. I have listened to...
Yeah. You know what? I am a reader and I use a Kindle. But for something educational, I'm a listener. So, like Stephen King, I'd read all of those. But Bob Rotella, Make Your Next Shot Your Best Shot, is the only golf book I've ever consumed. And to be honest, I'll stop there because it is so good. And like, even though I can't remember the full book, all I remember is every time I hit a bad shot, just say to yourself, make your next shot your best shot. And that's what it's all about. It's all about your recovery in golf. So that is my only book I have consumed, and it's the good old master of psychology, Bob Rotella.
I've had many a book given to me. It was an easy present at Christmas. He was getting the stockings when Santa did a thing when I was 11 and 12. Yeah, I've run the country sheltered. I believed in Santa till I was 11 or indeed 12. But I'll never forget, I got How I Play Golf by Colin Montgomery. It was like, oh, I don't want to swing like you, Colin. But a couple of good books, and especially for this time of year, especially if you're not a reader, so you definitely get this book finished in time. It's called Making the Masters by John Feinstein, God rest him. So even if you don't care about golf, it's an unreal look at pressure, obsession, and what people are really sacrificed just to chase a dream. And that dream was to build Augusta National Golf Club and host this fantastic event that is the Masters. Imagine doing that in the early 30s, but I won't, no spoilers. But yeah, a great time to read that between now and the Masters tournament, which is, I don't know, less than 50 days away. I don't know. Maybe is it 50, 60 days away? The other book is, I was given this by a friend of my dad's, actually, who was a big golfer. The main reason I play golf is he took me under his wing when I was about 11 years of age. And it's Harvey Pennick's Little Red Golf Book. Harvey Pennick was, of course, to many great pros, 70s and 80s, Ben Crenshaw being one of them. But it's like sitting on a porch with a Porsche. It's like sitting on a porch with a wise old coach, like on a veranda, and somehow makes everything feel simpler and calmer. So a really quick story. It's not a book. It's like loads of little notes you used to take, and they're little stories. So you can open it onto any page, and some are only a page long, and it's only about a little bit bigger than an A5, or some might be 2 or 3 pages long. But one is like, Ben Crenshaw came to him going, I'm not holding any putts. I'm not holding any putts. Ben Crenshaw's famed as being one of the best putters on tour. And Harvey Pennick was like, no, Ben, you're just not hitting the ball close enough to the hole. So you need to go practice with your 7-iron.
Nice.
So it's little nuggets like that.
Nice. Love that. That's really, really good. And we had another question, which I've been so excited to go through, from Mark Delaney asking us what our golfing icks are. Now, I've been thinking about this for the last 2 days. I think Mark sent it over the weekend. And I have a lot, but like nothing, too crazy or too out of the ordinary. But Paddy, you tell us first, because we might agree on 1 or 2 of them. I only have 2. So
2. Oh, well, let's go. It's written down in our notes, but I hadn't written any answers. This is straight from the dome, as the Rapids would say. So number 1, being on your phone, like taking a phone call. Don't mind people, like I'm on my phone, I'm texting my wife, or I'm checking my parents, how my son is doing at home after like 9 holes, whatever. But verbally, physically, audibly being on your phone. I was playing in a golf competition, like one of the majors up at home. This pre-COVID, so years ago. And the guy was on his phone 3 times in the first 4 holes. Different phone calls. So that's the only time I've walked in. I walked in because the 5th hole in the Hinch is the closest you get to the clubhouse until the 9th. And I'm not doing it.
yeah.
I says, I blamed something that happened with my child at home. It's like, oh, I gotta go.
Yeah,
Time
right
is
job.
out.
Yeah.
Second one's easy. Iron head covers. Like, why? Absolutely not. Like, no way.
Paddy,
No way.
I knew you would say this, right? I actually knew
I'm an
you would.
elitist. I'm a golf snob.
You know
No
what?
head covers.
I've been thinking about that answer because it's a lot of people's golf fix, but I will tell you one thing. I know this man, he's an amazing man, and he uses iron covers, but he is one of the best golfers I have ever seen in my life. And I
Great.
look at it now and I'm like, it's preservation. I played with him last summer and I noticed the iron covers and I'm like, "Do you know what? Respect, because he's such a baller."
I respect the baller. Like when it comes to, I'm a guy. My wife says I'm a salad snob because I like my salad a certain way. I like rocket and spinach. No, none of this cause bullshit. I'm a coffee snob. I'm a steak snob because he used to work in this beef industry, so I know my steak a little bit. When it comes to this, I'm definitely a golf snob. When it comes to like attire, people can take the piss out of me for my joggers, but like, come on. Iron head covers. I'm a victim of my own snobbery now and saying tartan pants like 2016 all the rage, but not in 2026, my friends. Will I keep going? I could keep going. Remote control golf trolleys.
Yeah.
So Kevin O'Brien, looking straight at you, my friend. Don't care if it was a present from your wife. It's an ick. I'm like, no, you're an absolute K&OB, my friend. You're going to go have some dynamites then afterwards, with the boys. Dominate the weekend.
Yeah, funny.
No. So yeah, I could keep going, but I won't.
This is good.
Stay
This is
stum.
great. Good man, Mark Delaney, for asking us this. Do you know what one I was thinking of? When you play with somebody and they constantly, if they hit bad shots every time and then they blame there was noise in the background, or, oh, I knew what I did. Or when people constantly say, I knew what I did, that just 1 or 2 times is fine, because I do it myself in a round. If I'm hitting it bad, I'm like, right, I figured it out. But every single time, my God, it just drains the life out of me.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right. Would you, if they were at it for 9 holes, Emer, would you make an excuse? Would you be like, oh, I had seafood last night?
You know what?
Gotta go.
I did this for 18 holes with a person in a golf course I used to be a member of, and that was about 6 years ago. And Paddy, I have never forgotten it, and I've never gotten myself into a situation, because I was traumatized after it. It was after every drive, every iron, every putt. And so that's like my biggest ick, just like making excuses. And like, you know what? I played really bad over the weekend. Like, I had some really good scores at the start and then I was horrendous in the back line. But sure, there's no excuse. Do you know what I mean?
If it were to happen again, with the same person, with a different person, would you bring it up with them? Would
Yeah.
you give them some constructive feedback? Do you know what they say in corporate world? They go, Emer, can I give you a bit of feedback? Because everyone will say, yeah, sure, give it to me, give it to me.
I absolutely would.
Can I give you a
Look,
bit of feedback?
I'm not. Yeah, but I've nothing to lose. If somebody did that for 9 holes, I would try give them a word of advice, because what I would do in that instance is probably go quiet for the round and do the opposite. And then yeah, I would. Sure, I would. Sure, you're trying to help them, because if I'm going through it, a million other people who are playing with them are going through it as well, and it's not helping anyone. It's not even helping themselves. The negative talk. I
Oh,
tell them
exactly.
to listen to Bob Rotella. Make your next shot your best shot.
Do you? Sure, you should read now. Harvey Pennick's Little Red Golf Book.
Yeah.
Perfect for you. Perfect for you. Emer, follower golf course under €50 this week.
So we have had, very thankfully, a lot of comments again and a lot of recommendations. And, we're trying to move around Ireland as well, and treat every course fairly. And a course that's come up quite a lot is Grange Castle. And the good news about Grange Castle, according to one of the websites on Google, is that green fees range from €29 on weekdays to €39 on the weekend. That's freaking amazing. And it offers championship standard golf at public course prices, essentially. It's in Ireland's top 100 courses, and it features USGA spec greens and a scenic layout with 7 lakes and the Dublin Mountains as a backdrop. I haven't played it. I'm so excited to play it. And why is it a winner, you ask? Well, there's quality and value. So there's high-end maintenance with green fees that will not break the bank. There's flexibility, so you can choose between the 18-hole par 72 or a quick 7-hole academy loop if you're short in time. I love that. And look, Grange, it's accessible. So it's located just 10 minutes from the M50, and it's incredibly easy to reach from anywhere in Dublin or any motorway or any road. So yeah, we're flying the flag for Grange this week. Grange Castle.
I've actually played that 7-hole Academy loop. I haven't played the 18 holes, but I played the 7-hole Academy loop with a previous colleague of mine. It's a lovely track from what I could see.
Great.
And it's only 300 metres from where my wife works, so might have to drop her to work sometime and work from home for the next 4 hours,
I like it. I like it. And on to one of our other favourite segments of the week, which our listeners are enjoying, is our underrated golf course of the week, Paddy.
Here's a wildly underrated golf course more people should be playing, and it's Luttrellstown Castle Golf Club. I've played it 3 or 4 times, but first off, the land. The place sits on a historic castle estate, again, just outside Dublin, so we're very pale oriented this week. It was designed, though, by Eddie Hackett, so it tells you everything you need to know, really. No tricks, no gimmicks, just proper thinking person's golf, so my kind of golf. Wouldn't do much thinking off the golf course. It's classic parkland. It's all about position off the tee matters, angles matter. If you miss fairways, that cuts down your options in terms of getting to the green, so the course can really eat you alive very quickly. The standout hole is the par 3 15th. It's elevated tee, framed by trees. Wind is always around the place. We live in Costa del Ireland. Looks friendly, but it absolutely isn't. It has built a reputation as a momentum killer late in the round. It's a hole that looks simple, but it never plays that way. And it's one of those par 3s where club selection just always feels wrong. You're like, oh, I don't have enough here. I've played it 4 or 5 times, and I've always been like in between clubs, and I've always fecked up. If you miss long, you're dead. If you miss short, it's worse. But yeah, among members, so I went deep into the Reddits, deep into the comments on groups, on Facebook groups here. It's the hole that ruins good cards. It decides all the matches in the club, apparently, and it only gets talked about after the round. So it's had an absolute impact. When it comes to Luttrellstown Castle, it doesn't shout for attention, but once you've played it, it's one of Dublin's best kept golf secrets. Extra trivia, you know who got married there, don't you? Who got married there in 1999? You know.
Posh and Becks.
Posh and Becks. I was a massive David Beckham fans. But yeah, they got married back there in 1999. They sold their wedding, wasn't it? They sold the rights to the photos with Hello Magazine, wasn't it? One of them?
Yeah.
For £1 million or something. So yeah, you're literally teeing it up on the same ground as one of the most famous weddings on the planet. So there you go. Luttrellstown Castle Golf Club this week.
Nice.
Now, up and down of the week.
My up is that I'm going to London tomorrow for the LET season launch. I'm very excited, and I got my brows done. And also, I had 2 birdies.
2 ups.
And I had 2 birdies in the first 3 holes yesterday, and this leads me to my down. I had 2 doubles and a triple in my last 3 holes of the round yesterday. So that's my down of the week.
Up and down of the week. Up of the week. Super fresh because I didn't prep it. Up of the week, I'd say, is I'm getting into a nice little routine now. Nice little routine of a bit of mobility either when I get up, which is tough, or when I finish work, which is nice. Whether I'm work from home or coming in the door off the train. It's actually the two girls that keep me accountable. They're like, Daddy, do your exercises. Toes down on the mat. And really seeing the benefits of that when it comes to hitting the range now 2 or 3 times a week. Getting up to 3 times a week. Because I'm going for like 30 minutes. I was at the range for an hour this evening after work. I felt like I was there a long time for me. Not about range ratting for 200 or 300 golf balls. The up is I'm liking my routine right now. The down is this blinking weather. Like we've done 13 episodes without really mentioning the weather. And it's like all I want to do now is practice on course.
Yeah.
Or practice on really tight fairways and tight short game areas. And it's tough. Like it's been raining for like forever days straight. So I get it. But it is the best time to practice your chipping off like muddy, scrappy lies, which I'm trying to do a bit in the next riding range. But yeah, I just want to get to play some holes, man.
Yeah,
But yeah.
same. Yeah, like when we played yesterday, it was genuinely such a slog. But you know what, Paddy? I really enjoyed focusing on making contact with the ball first because the ground is so heavy. You really have to lean into that because otherwise, if you're catching the ground before the ball, it's going to go 20 yards.
Where's the best place to practice your golf? Where is the best place to go practice your ball striking?
The golf course?
The beach.
Nice.
The beach. So if you get that nice, hard, compact sand, not the soft one, you're not in a bunker, but the bit between the tide's gone out and it's nice and firm. It's not wet, but it's firm and compact.
Nice.
5 balls or 10 balls. Yeah, obviously very early in the day when no one's there. But you don't need to be hitting it 200 yards. Just practice like 40-yard clips with a wedge. That's all. And if you don't hit ball first on a nice compact sand, well, the ball's only going to roll over itself for a foot or two. So yeah, there you go.
Nice, nice. And that brings us to the end of episode 13. Wow, that flew, didn't it?
Flying it.
We would like to thank everybody for listening. As always, if you have any questions, comments, messages, ideas, please DM us at Scratch Social HQ. And what is our email address, Paddy?
Podcast at Scratch Social.
Thank you. And from me, Emer.
From me, Paddy.
Keep it social.
Slán.